Our 2 months in France during this winter are finished. We're back in Canada for the spring. Time to get the RV de-winterized. We haven't lived in there for a few months now, and we're really missing it.
What's in your hands there, Mike?
Just ignore the duck that you see. There is not a duck in my hand. We are living with a couple of ducks for a short time here. Sydney named this one Quackers.
This is Cheese and Quackers. They are rental ducks. Our daughter Sydney has got them for just a couple of months here as they grow, and boy do they grow fast. But they will follow us around all over the yard. They're very adorable actually. Hello Cheese. Hello Quackers. What are you guys up to?
During the de-winterizing process, I had a bit of trouble with our outside hose port. Down you go, Mr. Duck. Check for poop. Looking good. It's not unusual for that small valve in there to stick, and it's usually easy to push lightly on the ball and free it up. When I freed the ball today, I failed to notice that I had pushed the ball slightly to the side so it didn't seat properly. Water shot out in a full stream. Luckily, it was easy for me to reach in there and slide the little ball back into position. Fully prepped for the season now. We're going to do a couple of weeks mooch docking at my sister's house. Yeah, we got a week here mooch docking at my sister's house. Getting the hose to reach to fill up our tanks was a bit of an issue, but we got it. Luckily, this is a perfect spot before we cross the border into Michigan next week.
Here's Mike painting.
There we go.
What are you doing down there, Mike?
Hey, maybe we'll make it look like new again, eh?
Let's hope so.
Yeah, close anyway. So our first campground of 2024, Pinery Provincial Park in Ontario along the east coast of Lake Huron.
Okay, we are at the Pinery and there's beaver action all over the place. We are seeing a lot of the stumps that the beaver has chewed, and trees, including big one way over there. You'll have to get a photo of that. But then here you can see where he's taken down this tree, and if you go all the way along, he starts chewing it into little segments. So he's chewed little parts off so that he can take little pieces of the tree that are doable size for him to bring to build a dam.
And
Go
figure.
figure.
One going over
Hey, and here's one half done. The beaver is going to be coming back for that one.
We had reserved a secluded site in the Riverside 3 area with Mom and Dan, and then we had Sydney and Chris come out for 2 of the days. With Grayson, of course. Grayson is here on his first camping trip. He doesn't like getting a bike helmet put on, but once it's on, he loves going for a bicycle ride. We spent one of our days at the beach.
He's on his own adventure now. Now help me build a castle?
It was really exciting because at the Pinery, this is the first time we were ever able to see the northern lights. We were sitting around the campfire and we looked up and the colors flashing across the sky. It was incredible. And it was the first time I believe that Chris and Sydney had ever seen them, so that was really exciting to share.
We often visit truck weigh stations, and we're usually finding that our rear axle weighs in right about at the vehicle's rated limit. The truck had always squatted a bit more than I'd like. Today was a big day. We were just at Windsor Spring, right here on Crawford in Windsor, Ontario, because we wanted to add a leaf to each side of the rear leaf suspension on the truck. It's been sagging a little bit. We didn't like that. Plus, we're always at the maximum capacity whenever we hit the scales. So hopefully this will do the trick and give us a longer life on those leaf springs. I'm hoping that this will help us to tow the trailer more safely. The additional leaf springs raised the rear end by about 2 inches, and the shop charged us a reasonable 470 Canadian dollars for the parts and labor. Okay, now that we've installed the additional leaves in the back end of the truck, we've got the truck sitting higher by about 2 inches. This is good. That means finally I'm going to be able to take this hitch and lower it, which is something I've always wanted to do, because the whole time we've had this truck and this trailer, I've never been able to open the tailgate while the trailer was attached. Now I can.
Now, it's time for our second campground of the season. We're driving to Ludington, Michigan. This is one of Mike's favorite campgrounds. He started coming here with his family when he was just a little child. It's changed a bit over the years, but it's still just as wonderful as ever.
Hey, we made it. We're having a nice little swim. First one of the year, eh?
First swim of the year. It's kind of chilly, but Ludington, Michigan in Lake Hamlin. Brr. One minor catastrophe during our stay, the chain on Mike's bike snapped.
Well, can't complain. The bike's been with me for I think about 26 years now. That's pretty good for a cheap bike that we bought at Walmart a long time ago. But today, the chain broke. So I've decided it's time to buy a new bicycle. I'm not going to just replace the chain.
What else is broken on your bicycle?
Well, a couple years ago I threw the front derailleur in the trash because it had stopped working and I didn't feel like fixing that. And the back brake cable, that broke, about a month ago. So I think it's time. The bike is saying goodbye, so
I think
I
it's
have to say
saying
goodbye to it.
I've died.
Yeah. So after those broken parts, what did I list? 4 of them? We decided that 24-year-old or 26-year-old bicycle was going to be replaced. So one trip to Walmart and we come back with another inexpensive bike. Let's hope it gets another 26 years, just like that last one.
Why did you choose an inexpensive bike, Michael?
I used to not be such a cheapskate on bikes, you know, when we used to have a shed back in our other life, but our bikes are out in the rain a lot. They don't last as long as I'd like, you know. I'm always wire brushing them and repainting them and re-oiling them, and it's just tough to be a bike living the RV lifestyle that we live.
The rest of this year will be spent in southern Ontario. Our next campsite comes soon. We'll be at Rondo Provincial Park for a week. We have plans to stay with our daughter and son-in-law for some time. And we have a few weeks of family time coming up with all 3 of our kids coming together at the family cottage. We don't get the whole gang together in one place very often, and we're really looking forward to these upcoming weeks.
In the meantime, I want to look more closely at this receiver on the Silverado. During the past year or so, I've noticed more clunking noise as we tow the RV, and it seems like the hitch is sloppier in here than it should be. Might have to replace the entire hitch. I don't think this is normal. For any of you that have any feedback to give us, that's like from there to the high spot. That's 7/8 of an inch of play that we have up and down. Seems like a lot to me. Are you playing the right or the left? If you're on left, I'll be on the right. I got one. Well, that's it for this week's video, and as always, we look forward to seeing you on the road.